Alright, welcome back ladies and gentlemen, I'm Nick as always and call me Touch for Ninja, and we're once again back for part 3 of my early gameplay session where I got to play Assassin's Creed Origins for about 4.5 hours on Xbox One X at beautiful 4K resolution. Once again captured at a San Francisco event that it was held a couple weeks ago. And as promised, in today's episode, what I'm going to cover is I did an AMA on Twitter where I said you guys can basically ask me anything that you want about the game, and if I could actually offer opinion, I would give it to you guys. So that's basically going to be the bulk of this video. Got to stop a couple times because there are some dialogue sequences that you guys probably want me to shut up for. This, I'm still getting used. This is still gorgeous. This transfer between night and day. This is definitely going to be one of the first abilities that I lock because I like to play mostly during the days just because you get so many vibrant colors during the morning time. That nice blinding sunlight in your face. But anyways, so the AMA. First question comes from One Guardian at Kimba Vistal. Do you see any modern day action or dialogue? Any outside voices to enforce being in the Animus, i.e. Sean or Rebecca? No.
I should find the Servos and see what he knows about Sefetu. See if he's connected to the Scarab.
Here's a blacksmith. You can actually
see which are friendly to him.
Upgrade some of the current weapons you have as well as refill on arrows. Yeah, I did not see any of the modern day outside the Animus stuff. I'm pretty... It's getting like less and less with every single Assassin's Creed video or Assassin's Creed game that you get the outside real life stuff, so I just don't come to expect it anymore. It's more of like a bonus to me at this point if we see any outside real life stuff. Next question comes from Tyler at Raidenzer. Does it suck? No, this game I don't think will suck. I said this and touched upon it in my previous videos that I think this is going to be a solid game in terms of Metacritic score. It's going to sit between an 8.5 to an 8.7. That's a solid score for a video game. It's not blockbuster like Game of the Year edition score. Usually Game of the Year editions or Game of the Year caliber games around the 9+ mark. But I think, like I said, it'll be 8.5 to 8.7, which is still a solid game. Next question comes from Joe Gonzalez at Google7123. Do you think it's better than Assassin's Creed 1? Absolutely. In terms of gameplay, Assassin's Creed 1 was definitely, I would say, the weakest of all the Assassin's Creed games. It made a nice jump. The series really took off at Assassin's Creed 2 and kind of never looked back since then. So, yeah, I think it's 100% better than Assassin's Creed 1.
You look like a strapping sword. Looking to improve your armor?
Long night?
Very. Sorry. What are you interested in?
At the moment, I'm looking for Servos.
The Harbour Master. Of course. Servos is... away.
Away?
Yes, he's gone to Letopolis. Attracted by the promise of a new life.
Then he is not dead.
Dead? Why would you think he was dead?
Care for some dates? Finest in the area. Same ones the brewery uses for its famous beer.
I am just looking. You know about a man named Servos?
Servos? The harbor master is dead.
Good.
I am just looking. You know about a man named Servos?
The harbor master? Huh. Why are you asking about him?
I have heard he is missing. In hiding? Perhaps dead.
What would you do if Sefetu put a price on your head?
Ah, I see. I am not one of Sefetu's men.
I don't know anything about it. I don't stick my neck out. I have nothing to tell you. Finest metalwork in Sais.
Good day for business?
Not half bad. What are you looking for today?
For Servos, the Harbour Master. Do you know where to find him?
You are looking for who? Why? I don't know him. I heard he was dead. Why are you bothering about him? He was a good man.
A good man. So you do know him?
I don't. I just heard others say it. Leave me be.
Everyone has a different story about Servos. I wonder if one of them knows more than they are telling me.
A curfew is imposed in town after dusk.
That old mute was skulking around again.
Isn't he from some rich family?
Maybe. Maybe that's why no one has chased him out of town.
I think he lives up at the Tahaka estate.
Alright, so after a lengthy dialogue session, I am back. The next question comes from Creature Greed at Creature Greed, who asked, how does the parkour mechanics feel compared to Assassin's Creed games? And for better or for worse, the parkour mechanics feel exactly the same since like the Assassin's Creed 2 days, and you can take that for what you will. But I've said this before in previous videos, a game like Horizon Zero Dawn, a game that's not really hyper focused on parkour, the parkour in that game, as well as the shooting and basically everything else, feels so much better than the Assassin's Creed franchise, and that's most likely because that game is running on a brand new engine made by Guerrilla Games that's updated. I think since basically the entire Assassin's Creed franchise, it's been running on the same Anvil engine.
A curfew is imposed in town after dusk.
And the Anvil engine was great 10 years ago, and even though obviously this game looks beautiful, it's been updated and refined, it's still the same engine. So if you want new gameplay, in personal opinion, if this series wants to take a bigger leap forward in terms of its gameplay, in terms of how the game just feels, improving everything, it does need to be put on a new engine. But creating your own engine is real expensive, as you could imagine. So yeah, I think the Anvil engine probably, if this series wants to take a bigger leap forward and kind of get updated into the smoother mechanics such as like a Horizon Zero Dawn, they probably will need a new engine. And this is really cool right here. This kind of took me for a surprise. I was like standing here waiting for this guy, for the crowd to move, and then the eagle just comes down. We have another lengthy cutscene right here, so I'll let you guys enjoy that, and we'll be back for more questions.
How are you keeping?
As best I can. I'm tired of hiding.
There is a stranger in the market asking about you.
What? Who is he? Is he one of Sefetu's curs?
I do not know. I do not think so. He wears an old-fashioned badge, but he does look dangerous.
Badge? What kind of badge?
A Magi badge, I think.
A protector? Keep a watch on that one. We are not fighting men. You can take the bounty off my head.
I am not one of Sefetu's men. I am searching for Servos on behalf of Hakuf.
Good. I am Servos, mighty harbor master of Sais. Forced to hide on my own docks.
Why is Sefetu after you?
That dog. He is strangling the whole town.
Taxes us to death.
He burned my cousin's farm.
That's right.
I've been doing what I can, helping people hide their imports and exports. What Sefetu does not see, he cannot tax.
And he figured it out.
His men raided my business and my house. But I hid my records on my felucca. If they haven't found my boat yet, they soon will.
I'll see what I can do.
My felucca is tied up at the Sais docks. I would prefer to have it back in one piece. But if you must destroy it, go carefully. Sefetu's men watch the harbor like hawks.
Okay, back once again. Next question comes from Kanguklo918, who asks, how buggy is it? And the game actually isn't buggy at all. He's probably one of those people who are jaded from Assassin's Creed Unity. Rightfully so. I'm sad. That game was extremely buggy. Yeah, the game, I didn't run into any significant bugs at all. No missing textures on faces. No people randomly falling through the ground. Nothing atypical of your standard game and the basic what's become acceptable, quote unquote, in today's world of video games, and how many bugs are acceptable in my personal opinion. I think that this game, they took their time with it, and this is still an early build of the game, what I was told, so it's probably still being, it's honestly, there's gonna be like a 20 gigabyte day one patch most likely, and it's still several weeks after launch. It's still gonna be worked on just to fix everything. It's sad. It's kind of the state of the video game industry. It is that games are still not, they're being shipped unfinished, but I think in terms of the degree of unfinishedness, this game is fairly close. The purpose of this mission is literally just, I did the optional thing of I could either destroy the boat or steal it back, and I decided to steal it back. So next question comes from Brian Earthery 30. Is this supposed to be the longest Assassin's Creed game there is? I have no idea, to be honest with you. It looks fairly massive, especially when you take into account the huge open world, but I take everything I see and hear with a grain of salt, especially either from Ubisoft or the internet. You never know until you actually play the game. So if you want your chunk of hours, I can't really give you an estimate of how long this game is going to be if you want that bang for your buck. I think it's going to be a fairly long game, but I honestly, I can't answer your question.
You needn't hide any longer. I secured your felucca. Your documents are safe.
You saved my felucca. Here, take this as a small token of thanks. You have made things better here.
You clearly have people who are willing to help you out, Servos. Why don't you take on Sefetu?
Sefetu is too powerful, too greedy. He knows there is no one strong enough to stop him. We are not fighting men. Sefetu surrounds himself with soldiers. His base at Fort Nikiu is guarded with ballistae. Fool that I am. I helped him import them.
May Amun watch over you.
Wait for it. Remember what I said earlier, that it's so cool when you level up, you like explode with this ball of light. Looks like Bayek's supposed to go Super Saiyan. Look at that thing. SSJ2 style! Anyways, back to questions. So, next question comes from Chris at Good Difel, who asks, can you ride a cat up the pyramid, or does the cat ride you? I actually did not encounter any cat riding at all, so I don't think so. I should have tried a camel, though. Camel would have been a good try. If you guys listen closely to those like menu music, you get like a hint of like the old school Assassin's Creed song mixed in with like that Origins feel. It's fantastic. Just love it. Love it. It shivers down my spine. Anyways, next question comes from Chris at Cyberskull. Has the climbing system or parkour in general been improved? Same question as earlier. No, it hasn't. For better or for worse. And once again, I think it's limited to the engine, even though the engine looks beautiful. And the last question comes from Andrew.
I must deal with Sefetu's archers in Sais. They are his eyes.
D Shark Exotic asks, how does the combat feel? So I've kind of touched upon this in a previous episode. The combat in this game is like so much harder than it has been in Assassin's Creed games of the past, and I think that's a good thing, because the combat in previous Assassin's Creed games were way too easy with the quick kill counters and taking on like a huge swarm of enemies who attack you one by one. And if that's still too challenging, you just throw a smoke bomb at your feet to just like one by one slaughter, instant kill them. In this game, the enemies actually get smoke bombs, which makes it feels like such such a trip to me. But anyways, in terms of like the sword combat, it feels like, I said this before, but it feels like a very much a less refined Dark Souls. I think they were trying to mimic the Dark Souls combat as closely as they possibly could have, but because once again they're not running in the same engine, it doesn't feel nearly as responsive or as crisp as the Dark Souls franchise. But it once again still retains that slight degree of difficulty. This is actually a good spot right here because you'll see that I am about to absolutely get destroyed by this guy because I thought I could just like hack and slash him the entire time. And what you'll notice in this game is that your health just drops so quickly, especially if you have a guy coming at you, then there are archers shooting you in the background, you get a club to the face, and the enemies are absolutely savage. So yeah, if I were to summarize it, I would say more of a low-key, less refined Dark Souls, and I think that's what they're really going for. Once again, it kind of goes back to my previous conversation where I think if they really want to change the series, I don't think will happen because it would be too expensive to do so. They should try to rebuild it up from a brand new engine that's just more updated. But once again, it's not going to happen. This is like a quick fire bow that I found. This would be really good for tackling wildlife, especially if you have like a hippo right in front of your face. Hippos are vicious in this game, man. Not so much for tackling enemies at long distance, but I was just trying to test it out and see what it was like, and it does work for the most part. So yeah, that's all your AMA questions. That's all the stuff that you guys asked for what I thought of the game, or basically my impressions of it. So hopefully I answered them the best that I possibly can. The rest of this video is just clearing out the rest of this town. Then I saw I have this sweet exotic bow, which is completely dank. It's awesome. So yeah, the rest of this video is just clearing out this town, and I think I'm gonna call it here. Once again, still have a ton more footage to show you guys, so if you guys like these videos, there's still a lot more coming. But until then, thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. As always, if you enjoyed, drop the video a quick thumbs up. It helps support the series, as well as let Ubisoft know that these videos and early gameplay sessions are worth it. And I will see you guys next time. As always, have a fantastic day.
She said their farm is failing, so they see it as a new start.
It sounds like a lot of work to restore and rebuild the whole city.
Yes, but they say it is a promise of a new life.
If you believe them.
Well, I'll wait for Nufure to get settled and write us with news. Then we will see.
Halt! Stay there! I must be careful now. Only power. Something's close. I'm with you. Some awesome soup. Going to get you! Got you! On high.
I heard another magic failed to face the victim. What happened? The firebrand had his soldiers burn the man.
We do not have enough to pay Safetu his accursed taxes. When he comes, I will talk to him about selling myself into bonded labor.
That takes care of Sefetu's eyes.
Hey now!
No, no, you...